Who's here? Come say hi. Hello, Remy. Hello, hello. Come say hi. I'm seeing 4 people. How was everyone's week? Hello, Marilyn. Another week has gone by. Time flies. Hello, Marnie. How's everyone doing this week and tonight? Working on anything special? Do you want to share anything? We are slowly getting into routine, like the very early routine of school and the school drop off being a little later and homework, reading periods, all of that. We're starting to get the hang of it. Next week is going to be probably the first week of full on. Everyone has their routine figured out. Have fun. See you later. Ew, I hope you're not having issues. So I'm a little exhausted. So tonight's live will not be as long as last week. I just want to tell you a little story. So, I haven't tabulated my final weigh-in for all my tomatoes, but my plants have died, all of them, about a week ago. I still have I think 4 or 5 Roma type plants that are still surviving, holding on. And I also have 4 or 5 cherry tomatoes that are still doing something. The rest all died. I removed. They have early blight, late blight. I have to burn all of that to make sure that I don't have the same problem next year. So this year I had to buy tomatoes. And tomato season is blight. My tomato plants all dried up because of blight. Early blight and then late blight because it's been raining almost every other day and then barely having time to dry. And I had during the 2 weeks my husband took a vacation, we were supposed to trellis all my tomatoes, do a lot of work, but he was sick for those 2 weeks. So there's a lot of stuff that I was supposed to do, and I didn't get to that. I didn't get to finishing up trellising my tomatoes. So sadly, I lost a lot, but it's okay. I've learned many things from this experience. But since we are probably within the last good week of tomatoes, I found a farm about an hour from my house that is on the way home from my husband. And Friday, he bought tomatoes. Right now, I'm on my kitchen table and I have a full table of tomatoes. So we bought 8 cases of second quality tomatoes. That's 20 pound each. There's a little loss, I can't believe those are called second quality. They look like the ones in my garden. So if ever people look at my tomatoes now, I cannot say that they're homegrown, super perfect. I have to call them second quality tomatoes as per the standards of grocery store. And then I bought 1 case of second quality slicers because I want to keep 1 or 2, because all of my slicers this year, I decided to sacrifice all of the slicers that I normally grow, only have 10. And because all the plants died, I barely had any tomato sandwich. And my bacon is getting delivered at the end of the month, beginning of the month of October. So I'm going to be out of tomatoes by then. So I'm holding on to at least 1 or 2 of these and maybe put them in the fridge so that I can have a bacon and tomato sandwich this year. So I had 1 case of that, and she had 1 case of zucchini left, second quality, and I bought that. So my husband arrived with that Friday. I laid all of those tomatoes on the table, and some of my tomatoes are also ripening because since my plants were dying, I just removed everything. The green, the semi-turn color, fully ripe. And I've been rotating them, and I did a kid salsa on Friday. And then when he arrived with the zucchini, since those are second quality, I literally went through every single tomato so that like one rotten tomato wouldn't like ruin the rest of it. Sorry. So I went through that and see like I missed one. So those on Friday, I did a zucchini salsa. And since we're talking about zucchini salsa, as promised, I don't know if you've seen the videos that I'm doing. So I'm retaking the videos from the Every Bits Counts challenge, and I'm transferring them as best as I can, going through the footage as individual videos. So Tuesday, my zucchini salsa is coming out. So that's what I did on Friday. During the week, I have to be honest, I am starting to get very exhausted. I didn't do much. So I started prepping, planning the arrival of my tomatoes, rotating some of my pantry, reorganizing part of my dry goods, because usually in November I make a purchase. November, December, I do a purchase of dry goods to last me for a couple of months, almost a year in certain things. So I did that. And then let me just catch up on comments, and then I'll tell you what exciting things I did yesterday. Awesome. My grandson is visiting for me for a bit, so I will not. No worries. I'm going to do a very short live tonight. You will understand why. Hello, Dave. Oh, no. I hope you guys, Remy told me that there's a hurricane or like a thunderstorm or like severe weather out there. We're having the end of it, I think, tomorrow because I'm having heavy rains. Yeah, so I don't understand. Like, I'm looking at these tomatoes. These are second quality tomatoes. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it at all. Like, I understand, like, this is like scratched from tools, but here's the thing. When you do tomato sauce, these things are like normal. And I refuse to pay $2 a pound. So that's the price of the farm I used to buy. And then another farm, if I didn't pick it myself, it was $1 a pound. So if I was just picking up boxes, and then if I was picking up more than 120 pounds, it was 54 cents a pound. I just blew my mind. $2 a pound for tomatoes this year. So if I go back 4 or 5 years ago, I used to buy a 20-pound box for $8. Then it went up to 10, and then it went up to 12 last time I bought tomatoes. And the farmer told me if I would take a big amount, he would make a lot price for me. So I paid these $12 a box, but they're second quality. So I lost a couple, but they're exactly like my garden tomatoes. Like they have little knickknacks here and there. So anyways, it just blows my mind. Hello, Tracy. Yes, but I don't have bacon. Hello, Lynn. Bruschetta. So I don't have a good bruschetta recipe. I should do bruschetta. Like I found a flat bread, so naan bread. What do you call it? Sourdough. So the other day, I was just playing around with my sourdough, and I did equal parts sourdough, equal parts water, salt, and like I eyeballed baking powder and mixed bread flour until it became a ball, and then I kneaded it and I created naan bread. Like, it was the first time I was eyeballing a recipe. So if you have a good bruschetta recipe, send it to me. I might do that this week. I am running out of steam and I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Yeah, I feel you. I'm realizing more and more than I really have to consider taking, like, stopping certain things. I am physically, mentally, emotionally drained this year. So next year, there's many things I will not be growing in my garden. Obviously, I will probably still raise some meat. I will probably have a smaller garden and buy things like I'm doing now. So I am looking into different options. My husband and I have been talking a lot, going back and forth. And the more the season is going, I am literally exhausted. So I probably will change up the flavor a little bit of the stuff that I do, but on here on YouTube, but I will still publish on YouTube. I will have lovely videos because I think that it is important to share the good, the bad, and ugly. And I know that I'm not the only one going through like roller coasters of exhaustion. And I just wanted to next year slow down a little bit. Still do tomatoes, but do it differently. Still do peppers, but instead of growing all of my peppers myself, like do half here and then going to a local nursery and getting what do you call those? Like they have golden cal and they have like these beautiful peppers that did awesome. I'm just gonna go back to the same nursery that I got good peppers from here from this year, and I'm just gonna do that to to help me catch my breath. But you guys are still going to see gardening videos, canning videos, and all of that. But I will be looking out for deals to continue the lifestyle that we have and to have good food canned up. Yeah, but sometimes it's more than that. At first, I thought I was just like going through a hard period and I was taking one thing at a time. But then I started realizing like I'm neglecting a lot of very important stuff. So this is when I came to the understanding that I have to take a step back and figure out a better system for the homestead. Awesome. Hello, Cindy. Yes, when you hit that like button or you comment either videos or when you're watching replays of my video, you're telling YouTube that you enjoy my content. Okay, so don't think too much. Tomato, garlic, olive oil, basil, salt, pepper. Did you put balsamic vinegar? Just give me a sec. I have a kid right next to me. So sorry. Okay, so I'm going to have to write this down so I don't forget it. Take a picture, and then I'm going to write it down later. Yes, I'm downsizing at first. I thought I would add more raised beds. No. Next year, I think my raised beds will be for my onions, my garlic. I need to figure out what we're doing because over last weekend, I destroyed a raised garden bed and I have to destroy another one and at least another one. I'm using that soil for my food forest. It was hugelculture style filled, so it is really rich soil, so I don't want to lose that. So I think that next year my raised beds will be cucumbers on a fun trellis I found that I used in my high tunnel, and I really, really enjoyed having my cucumbers this way. So I don't know how to describe it, but I saw this on Instagram for cucumbers. So they have either T-post or wooden fence posts, and they have a very thick, heavy duty wire, metal wire, from one point to the end. And then they spaced their cucumbers at 12-inch to 18-inch, like depending the your flavor of gardening. So 12 inches spaces to 18-inch spacing, and then they would from the cord take another cord and rope, bring it down, and use the cucumber plant going around it, and suckers would be removed. So you would be left with one or two runners going up, and the rest would be removed. So I started doing that in a tunnel, and I loved it. And then I had a later sowing, I think around July 1st. I just wanted to experience with that, and I really enjoyed it. So next year, I might have like a couple of beds that's gonna have pickles because I loved to do pickles and relish and all of that. But I've canceled my relish this year, so I might not have that much. But I really love that design. So my raised beds will be for that. Maybe some pole beans, same principle, have a wire and then bring the wire down and then let the bean plant do that. I did learn something very, very fun. Instead of having 2, 3 sowings of bush beans, I decided I was going to start my bush beans early in 72 plug trays, 128 plug trays, transplanted them. It was super fun, super fast. And I know you're not supposed to do that with bush beans, but I had so much success from it that my my plants were starting, like the ones that I direct sowed, I had to sow multiple times because of the drought that I experienced. So maybe next year I'm not going to like it, but that's how I did it this year. So half was direct sown, the other half was started from seeds. And then once the plants reached about June, I planted pole beans. So when my bush beans died down, started slowing down in production, I had a bumper crop, like a second wave of beans. And the Matilda bean that Darren from Thorhaven Farm sent me might become a new bean that we have here, like a green bean for canning. I will be tasting I have a lot of green bean this year. So I'm going to go through all of that. I had Gold Rush for my yellow one. I had Matilda, which was a green bean. Then I had Provider, which was a green bush bean. And then I really love Provider. And then the last one was Dragon Tongue. Those are going to be probably my go-to variety. I want to try another pole bean. Everyone raves about Blue Lake, but I wasn't really impressed. So I'm going to maybe see if I can find Matilda, give it a go next year. So my raised beds will be utilized differently. And over the years, I know this sounds super crazy, but my raised beds are 4 feet wide, and my pathways are 2 feet to walk in. So it's not good. I can't fit anything. A wheelbarrow doesn't fit there. Nothing fits. And they started out being like this, and now because of like it was not poorly made, but it was like not our best. In it's starting like to stick out. Some places is 18 inches apart, in some places it's like 20. So I kind of hit myself a couple of times with like a full hand of basket, not seeing my feet. I hit a couple of times my knees, scratched my legs really bad. So we are thinking removing 1 feet per raised bed, restructuring it, making it with more airflow to, and it's probably going to be easier for me to have 36-inch wide raised bed instead of 48 inches wide bed. And it's also going to have to force me to decide what will stay and what will leave. So cabbage family, sadly, will probably no longer be grown in the spring. So I probably have like 5 cabbages, a couple of maybe cauliflower, a couple of broccoli, like just to have like in the spring. And then maybe in the fall, try it again. This year, I wasn't able to plant my fall garden for many, many reasons. So I'm hoping that all the changes we'll be doing in the next 2 years will help me downsize, but grow more, not so that I don't lose my sanity through it. What did I miss? What did I miss? If I'm downsizing, at first I thought it would add more raised beds, but not going to. No, I'm not doing it. Not sure what you mean, big win. I think you're talking about my tomatoes. I have stopped. I was so tired. There is only me. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. I'm alone, mainly alone. This year is one of the years that I have the most help, but I just can't do. I can't just can't do it anymore. Um, I'm always go 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 go, which it's not bad, but I need to listen to myself. See, I'm actually converting some of my beds to strawberries, um, and I'm gonna heavily, like in the spring, I'm gonna weed and then I'm gonna put some straw. And I am on the lookout now till the first fall of snow for 18 by 18 concrete slabs. And I'm keeping all of my Amazon boxes. I'm going to put boxes on the ground and wet it, and then put those 18 inches by 18-inch stones on the ground. I think 3 years ago, we found 68 stones for free. So we saw one deal about a month ago, but we weren't quick enough. So I told my husband, as soon as you see a certain amount, a good amount of those stones, we are going to add that so that I don't have to weed the pathways. Like this year, I was supposed to add wood chips. Didn't happen. So I had to, at one point, I had to weed the pathways. I had to weed the produce, and like I had so much to do, so little time that I was exhausted right away. I kind of decided tonight I won't grow sweet peppers again. This time of year, they are cheap enough to be. Yeah. So I found at Super C 99 cents a pound for multicolors. So green, yellow, orange, and red. The orange and yellow, I've been disappointed so much this year. They were harvested a little too late. So this week I have to do recipes with them. So I have a recipe that requires, if I do it double, 24 cups of peppers. So, a tomato just fell. I have to pick that up. If I double it, I'm going to need 24 cups of peppers. I'm going to go and I need 12 of that if I double it. Multicolor peppers, and I'm just going to pass it. The red ones are doing awesome. So next year, I'm not going to be buying colorful at the grocery store. I will still be growing some, but probably half of what I've grown this year. Mine are always small. Yeah, same thing here. They're always full of snails. With those rules, I didn't mean family and kids. They are very big things. What did you mean? I think I missed a couple of comments. Okay, so you made a kitchen video and you didn't have blood. Okay, so now that's that. A really big win for, okay, so I'm understanding that one. Okay, so I'm not sure what you meant. Yes! Okay, so this morning I was super, super, super excited. I woke up to something huge and I was breathtaking. I woke up to 1,999 subs. I was like, and I was like dancing everywhere. And during the day, I got 2 subs removed. So I'm at 1,997. So maybe tomorrow, a huge milestone. 2K. But there's someone also that is close to another milestone. Lynn. So today you had an odd number. I saw that in the chat. Yes, same here, Marlon. I think I'm going to grow for fresh. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to do stuff here and I'm going to complete with the grocery store. Because the thing is, I still have to cut and chop the produce. And now I have fun. Let's just say I'm doing salsa. I no longer take my fresh peppers. I take 5 cups of frozen peppers. It's already done. So it's quick and fast. So I have a tendency of freezing all of my peppers as soon as I get them out of the garden, and then I use them up in recipes. Okay. I think we're all our worst enemies, expecting too much of ourselves. There's that. And well, for my part, I add an extra layer of stress. So I have decided to stop working this year. It's going to be 7 years. Is it going to be in January? Anyways, it's almost been 7 years that I stopped working. So I've pressurized myself so much over the years that I need to grow as much food as possible to bring down the grocery bill. And I couldn't go out anyways because everything that was not necessary, so going out and about, going here and there, not necessarily going places, I stopped doing that. So we cut down on cable TV, we cut down on expenses. So I was cutting down. And at one point, this is probably one of the first errors I did. I just couldn't sit around and do nothing. Because in my heart, I was a stay-at-home mom. I made the choice. But then I was doing nothing. So I started working. And then now, add that to the C word, where we couldn't really do anything. We couldn't connect with anyone. I just stopped having fun and I just worked. And I kind of stopped living. I was just like doing the homestead. I was only doing the survival part of the homestead. And I became my own worst enemy. Like I added pressure food costs so much. I need to grow more. I need to preserve more. I need to do more canning sessions. I need more, 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 more. Well, yeah, I became my worst enemy. And 2 years ago, I crashed really hard after doing the Everbits Count Challenge. And I thought that, during the winter I was going to recuperate. And then I started the season. But then this year, I never seemed to recuperate. I go to bed early. I take all my vitamins. I drink water. I barely drink alcohol. I don't drink juice. My only cheat that I do is coffee. I have 2 coffees a day. So I started realizing that my body is exhausted, but like completely exhausted, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I need to do something drastic to move forward, or I'll probably stay in the same spiral of always feeling exhausted and not moving forward. Provider is now a tried and true variety here. I buy it in per pound, the seed. I have to verify if it's a hybrid seed. If it's not, I need to start saving my own seeds. I mean, with the evening, no, I mean with the everything is small stuff comment. I didn't even, oh, okay. Only peanuts, popcorn, and squash outside. I'm back to the high tunnel for the winter. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing a high tunnel this winter. I don't have a roof on my tunnel, and I have a loofah gourd. 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. And I have 3 loofah gourds that has taken over my tunnel. And if I put my roof on top of my tunnel, I'm going to kill it. So, this week, I'm going to recruit my husband to take everything out of the tunnel, just leave my paprika pepper plants there. That's something I will never stop growing. My paprika peppers, Agi Delight. It's one of my favorites to grow. If I could just grow 20 plants of that and have like a boatload of paprika, it would be so fun. So I have 10 or 12 plants of paprika. I would remove all the rest. So the paprika and the loofah gourd would stay. And I might sow lettuce. And I don't think I'll do more. Woohoo! 4,728. Amazing. Hello, wild edibles. No, I don't slow down in the winter. That's also not true. Like, I'm going to receive the pork at the end of the month, beginning of October. That means I have to flip all my freezers. That means if I don't have space enough for my pork, that means I need to can chicken, turkey. There was fruits and vegetables that can be canned. So I'm going to have to flip everything to make sure everything fits. And then December's quiet. We don't have that much going on during December except like maybe the 25th and the 1st. But it's nothing anything wild. So we don't do much. And then January is where I spend endless night trying to plan for my garden. And it just starts back in February with onions. And then it just goes by so fast. So yeah, I think we're lying to ourselves. It's quieter. It's not, or slowing down a little bit. I would love to have your energy, ladies. I feel tired all the time, winter and summer. I don't know how Stephanie, Stephanie is alone during the day, but her husband picks up, and they work a lot. They work a lot. I work a lot. They work probably twice as much as I do. They have much more animals than I have. I don't know if they butcher their animals. That part I don't know. But definitely, they work a lot. And I kind of send that I have a lot of energy, but the stress and the anxiety forces me to do certain things. But I no longer want to be controlled by the fear of the prices, fear of lacking, fear of everything that's going on. Like, I have so much stress, so much like anxiety just with the situation of school with my kids. And then I add the situation of the world going completely cuckoo about prices and all. And I'm actually holding the weight of the world on my shoulder. I'm supposed to, there's a saying, I'm probably saying it wrong. We're supposed to work like we have no kids. We're supposed to take care of our kids like we don't have any work. And we're supposed to be wives like we have nothing going on in our lives. And you can switch that vice versa, because men now have they have lived similar situations than we do. So we are literally running all the time. And like, I sit down sometimes and I feel guilty sitting down. Like, I feel guilty sitting on my couch and reading a book. That sounds literally stupid. Like, when you're saying out loud, I feel bad that I'm taking an hour a day, or like 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, and then 20 minutes here and there to read, taking time off, taking time to disconnect from everything going on, like the news, Facebook, my phone, YouTube, everything. Like, disconnect for an hour a day. I feel guilty, which sounds completely crazy. We get our report next month too. I have no idea where we'll put it. Yeah, Tetris, adult version. Yeah, they do. They're foul. Steph is keeping the feathers. Oh, okay. So she's very busy. Okay, now I wanted to tell you what I did yesterday. I got sidetracked. But I have a kid next to me again. Hold on. Come back. So, this week, a friend called me and we were going back and forth because I have a litter of rabbits that he wants to pick up in, in November. So, earlier on this summer, I bred my doe, my rabbit, and he picked up 8 rabbits out of 9 of my litter. He wants to build females. He wants to add a boatload of females and have like a selection. So he picked up 1 litter, and I'm hoping, crossing my finger, I'm gonna add the box next week so that I can check if she removes her fur. So he's picking up. So she's due next week, 6 weeks after that. So we were going back and forth, and then he started saying how discouraged he was. He bought land that has 10 apple tree, and then 5 different type of trees. Like, one is like a pear apple tree, and then one's a pear tree. And he's like, I'm so discouraged. Like, I have so many apples, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm like, well, I could, if you want, during the week, I could go pick them up. And I can pay you if you want. And as we started talking back and forth, he's like, no, if you want, come over the weekend, bring your kids. He has a son, and we'll pick and we'll transform. We probably picked on Saturday. We went Saturday, 150 pounds, maybe 200 pounds of apples. So it was 5 huge boxes. Like the boxes, I couldn't pick them up. They were huge. One of them was for either deer for hunting. He's going to give it out to some friends. And we transformed 2.5 boxes. I did 33 pies. So we made the pie crust, the pie filling for 30 pies. That's a lot. And then he's like, well, let's just fill the 50 liters that I have of apples and let it cook for a couple of hours and like just and do applesauce. I'm like, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon when he decided to do that. I'm like, well, we've seen a lot of apples. And he's like, no, let's do it. Like, we've picked it. And like, we were motivated to pick all those apples. So we ended up filling that 50 liters that he has. And I came back home with 12 liters of applesauce. And I'm going to have half of the apple pies. We worked nonstop. We arrived, I think it was 9:30, 9:45 Saturday morning, and we left there 12 hours after. And we only stopped for snacking during lunch. The kids were like snacking all day long, but they had a blast. And we sat down for a wonderful dinner at 7:30 at night. And after that, we processed the rest of the apples, like the applesauce. I was exhausted. So the applesauce is not canned. It's still in my fridge. So I took 5 jars today of the applesauce. I divided half of the 5 jars, so 2.5 jars. I added canned peaches to it with a little bit of light syrup, mixed all of that, brought it to like a little simmer, again, created like this beautiful sauce. The kids loved it. And then I decided to put it in the dehydrator for fruit roll-ups. I don't know how you guys call it, but it's like that dehydrated fruit leather. So I did that. And then I had blueberry in syrup. I just took the blueberry portion of the syrup and I added 1 or 2 tablespoons of the syrup, brought that to a boil, simmer it for a little bit. Same thing with my little machine. And then I have now in my Excalibur 5 trays of fruit leather. So I did that today. So after dinner tonight, that's what I did. But then this morning, I have 180 pounds of tomatoes. So I did 12 liters of sauce today. And like, I maybe did under half of what I did. So yesterday they were bringing me apples. Yesterday they were bringing me apples in the kitchen yesterday, and I'm like, I can't see apples anymore. Like, I don't want to see anyone talking or saying or talking about apples. I was so sick and tired of seeing apples because they were not sprayed. They were like 100% organic. So they had like, it was like maybe second, third quality, if you want to call it that. So every single apple had something to remove. So we brought our apple peeler. He had an apple peeler. We just peeled everything. He peeled. My husband peeled. His girlfriend removed the dark spots. I was cutting it in little pieces. And then I was making the pie filling at first. And then once the pie fillings were done, we jumped on the applesauce. And they brought me like 4 or 5 batches of apples. And I'm like, don't do this to me. I'm so and I don't want to see apples anymore. But then at the end of the night, he's like, there's still boxes left and I don't think I'll have any time to do. So I think I brought another like 10, 20 pounds with me. I hope it's close to 20 pounds because I'm hoping to do juice. And then I brought with me maybe 10 or 20 pounds of pears. That's not counting that I have to do stuff with this. So this is why I told you at the beginning of the live that I won't stay here till 10:30 like I did last time. I have been taking 20 minutes every day around 1 and resting. I listen to the ocean sound and have seen Annie from Mama Homemade has something very similar. So I'm trying. I did it for the last week of day camp and the first week when the kids were in school. Around 1 o'clock, I would sit down and wind down and read for like 30 minutes. So now I still catch myself. Okay, I still have like 20 minutes left. I'm just gonna push a little bit more, and then when I'm done, I'm just gonna push a little bit more. I'm gonna be happy I pushed a little bit more. But like saying everything I said. So I have pears on the balcony. I have, because it's chilly outside during the night. So I have pears, I have apples, I have all of this tomato, and I'm alone during the week. So I know that this week I'm going to be very, very busy, but I'm going to try to take breaks. So after I finished my 12 liters of sauce today, I could have decided, you know what, I'm just going to push a little bit more. I'm just going to push a little bit more. But I didn't do that. So instead of doing that, knowing that it's going to be raining tomorrow, I know that I'm going to be doing that. I cleaned out most of my tomatoes that were left in the garden, harvested some cucumbers, and came back and asked my husband if we can put up one of those Costco shelving to bring up some of my canned goods upstairs. So there was a temporary area where I was keeping my canned goods, but I was very worried. It was leaning on the concrete foundation and it's not isolated. So I was very worried that it was going to freeze. So last year I had jars there and I was putting my hands on the jars and I thought they were a little bit too cold. So now that the temperatures are starting to be not over 20 in the house, we brought up the shelving and I just organized all my jars and I was so happy. I'm so happy I stopped doing tomatoes and worked on something that made me happy. So now all of my beans are at the same place. All my pickled vegetables are at the same place. All of my corn is at the same place. My beets, everything is like organized so that I can be better prepared for meal planning. So since I am going down the path of me growing less, buying more deals, I need to use up, that pantry challenge that I think it's in January, February, or March, can't remember, from Three Rivers Homestead. It is a challenge that pushes us to use as much as possible of the stuff that we have dehydrated, canned, and frozen, in having a monthly budget for the grocery store. So I want to push myself. I want to do that so that I use up what I have here instead of buying something at the grocery store. So bringing the budget of my grocery store down by using up what I have here. And buying a lot of flour. I'm going to need a lot of flour because I'm going to be baking a lot. Not white yet, but sure feels like it will be any day now. Going down to 4 tonight. Wow. I didn't check. So what am I expecting for tonight? So the forecasts have been going down a lot. So yesterday it was 6, I think, 6 or 8. Obviously, I want to tell you. Okay, so, my app doesn't work. It says 9. No, sorry. What is it going to be? Am I going to be able to see it? So tonight it's going to be, no, it's going to be warmer tonight. It's going to be 15. But it's dropping the next night. It's going to be 9, I think. Yeah, Wednesday night it's going to go down to 9. It is going to go down. I think you're more up north than me, Cindy. When I worked, I didn't grow a big garden. Now I get to have a big garden, which helps on fixed income. Yeah. Well, I'm not giving up on growing food. It's just there's two possibilities. Well, more than one, more than two. So organizing myself. I've been trying to be more organized. Maybe I don't have the hang of it. Maybe I need to ask someone to analyze what I'm doing or have a chit chat with someone that is much more organized than me to see what I'm doing wrong, to see how I can optimize my time. And like, let's just say, I'm just giving out numbers. Let's just say that I spend 4 hours doing something and there is a way of doing it to 2 hours without losing my mind. Like just slow, not like always run, fast. And I didn't think of it in optimizing my time. So that means I can do something different in those 2 hours. So there's something I used to love to do prior to me stop working is I used to love to walk in the forest. I no longer do it. So let's just think. I have, I don't know, 70 hours of work to do around the house. But because I'm not organized and I'm not optimized, I have to work 70 hours. But if I can figure out ways to bring that to 30 hours a week, including preserving in like average period of the year. There's the peak of the season, the 2 last weeks of August and the 2 first weeks of September. I will have to be realistic. It's going to be like the time of preserving because I'm either combining store-bought stuff with my stuff or just literally stuff that I bought in bulk. I will have those crazy times. But I work 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's insane. So in that, I'm a mom, housewife, homesteader, but I'm never really a person in that. Yes, I can be a person when I'm homesteading, but like I'm not taking care of me, like the mental aspect of me. Working is good, so I'm not like scrolling for hours, wasting time. So I am doing good stuff for my brain. But let's just say that I can bring down the workload to 8 hours a day. And then when I'm done working, I can go for a walk in the afternoon, read a book next to the water. I would love to do that. So I would love to find balance. So being a person, a mom, a wife, and a homesteader, but not lose literally my mind doing it. Yes, I was impressed. And he still has one full tree that is not mature that had like boatloads of apples. So he might ask me to come back. If he does, I'm going to do juice with it. I had to close the sides on the, oh. My sister dehydrated apples to really dry, then ground it into apple sugar. Okay, wait. Let me take a picture of that. And it's actually, I saw on Instagram, I shared this healthy homesteader. She takes a 1 bean of vanilla, mix it with, I can't remember, I think it's 2 cups of sugar. So she opens the bean, removes the little paste, put it in the sugar, and then divide in 2-3 pieces the bean, put it in the sugar, and she's infusing vanilla beans in sugar, and she's creating vanilla sugar. So I was like, ooh, you're talking my love language. But now this dehydrated apple, mix it in sugar, and you create apple sugar. I am tempted to try. You too. No worries. I'm actually stopping like in 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes max. I need to take care of myself. Like I'm saying it, but I actually have to do it. That's the hardest part. Like Tracy says, he's actually the person that made me realize. He said a comment once. I can't remember if it was here on live or at the event, the convention. So he said that he had all the conviction to do the work. So he was planting everything, taking care of the garden, but he was not on top of things harvesting. And he was very hard on himself when he was saying that. I don't know if you're here, Tracy. I hope you are. But then I started reflecting. So this week was like a reflecting week. I say things. I need to take care of myself. I need to do this. I need to do that. But I don't do it. Like I'm so programmed to work that I don't do it. So Tracy, this year I saw that you worked really hard harvesting, and you preserved, you pressure canned, and you did a lot of stuff this summer. So I'm actually happy that you said that comment because it made me realize like I need to stop just saying it and do it. Yoo-hoo, you're there. Since I'm probably going to say like about 5 minutes, so we've talked about bruschetta. Awesome. You're welcome. Like we hear more negative than positive. Well, around me, like, but when we do something good, we don't have someone cheering us like, "Oh, ooh, you did good." So I had to take time to do it. So you guys know that I have tomatoes to do. I am planning on doing marinara sauce. I'm planning to do sloppy Joe sauce and Mexican sauce, regular barbecue. But is there any recipes that like you would think that I didn't think of? Like I have canned right now a boatload of salsa. I have diced tomatoes. I have barbecue chipotle sauce that's very spicy, so I have to do a regular one. I have pizza sauce, a lot of it, 49 jars. Did I forget something? Like I'm trying to remember. Did I forget anything? Like I went through all of my notes and I just couldn't figure it out. Do curry tomato sauce. I don't like curry. I'd have to. I guess you're adding coconut cream to it. There was a recipe of bruschetta in a jar that I found 3 years ago, but it was disgusting. I would love to have home canned bruschetta. It would be nice. Like I just would have to add olive oil to it. It would be really nice. No cream. After no, that's what I mean. So you do curry tomato sauce, and then once you come to cook it, that's where you add your cream to it. Yeah, you can't. Well, unless you're a rebel canner, you cannot canned milk product. A lot of people do. I see people can butter, milk. Just I'm still not that far a rebel canner. I do little rebel things, but not that much. I still am by the book for now. So I think I'm going to look for I have some rose hips that I might harvest at the end of the month because freezing temperatures are supposed to start next week, but I doubt it's going to happen next week. So I do have rose hips that I have to harvest. I know that there's a barbecue sauce with rose hip. No, I think I would have to try it like as a meal and then see if I like it. But I've never found a bruschetta recipe that I really loved, canning wise. The only one I found was in my ball book, but no. So Healthy Canning has one. Tomato, garlic, white wine, white vinegar, water, sugar. Ew. Okay, there is one. I found one. So it's, come on, work with me. It is 3 pounds of tomato. Where'd it go? Stop it! My phone's going crazy. 3 pounds of tomatoes, washed, cored, chopped. 5 cloves of garlic, 1 cup of white wine, 1 cup of white wine vinegar, half a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, basil, oregano, balsamic vinegar. Yeah, that's probably the one I saw. Yeah, I think you're right. Have you ever tried doing bruschetta with whole canned tomatoes? Have you ever tried that? No worries. I'm actually going to leave like very soon. Going to out the chickens. I'll catch you later. Thank you. Have a good night too. Rose hip barbecue sauce. I use a recipe with tomatoes and replace with rose hips. I pressure can it. It has a lot of vinegar in it. I'm not that sure. No, always fresh. So that means you only eat bruschetta during the winter, or you found. Well, there is one tomato that I can find during the winter at Costco. Kumata, Kumata, I think that I could do it with, but it wouldn't be a Roma tomato. Okay, so now I'm hungry. We end up talking about food again. I'm not gonna have lawn keepers this year. I neglected the plants and now they're all red. So I'm going to go through the lawn keepers plants that I had and I'm just going to go remove the green ones and hope that the blight didn't kill them. I will get that. That was like one of the things that I was looking forward to, having lawn keepers. But I decided to slow down. So if I want lawn keepers, that means I have to do stuff differently for me next year. Like have a full row dedicated to lawn keeper would be fun. Like a 10, usually I have 10 plants per row. That would be a lot. Maybe 6. Yeah, maybe 6. Do like one row of 6 and then have an extra 4 slicers. I don't know. I have to think about that. I am in the looking at what I'm going to do next year for my gardening. Like I have like this plan. It all depends if we have time to modify the raised beds garden this year or we're going to slowly do it with time. So, and I have to figure out if I'm using my raised bed gardens to do garlic. But I still have like 1 month to figure that out. So I thank you for popping in, chatting with me, listening to me, and I do hope that if ever you're struggling and you need a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen, I've been completely transparent in my exhaustion and feeling overwhelmed. I never really held back that information because I know it's real, it's there. So if you feel the need to talk either to me or other homesteaders, just feel free to do it because we need to talk. We need to say it out loud so that we can do the next step. So until then, I have one video being published for you on Tuesday, which is my zucchini salsa. And I am trying to do either a dough recipe, because I had a special request for that, or what's it called? That fudge. No, not fudge. Brownies. The dry mix brownie mix that I did. I really wanted to show it to you guys. So I know that I have to film that. So it's either going to be the brownie mix or the bread. So I will chat with you guys next Sunday. Take care, everyone. Bye. Thank you, Cindy. You're so sweet. I'm so sorry. I am exhausted. Usually I would stay a little bit later, but I need to rest. Really, really rest. It's been a hectic weekend. I've been processing almost 10, 12 hours yesterday, and I did 6 hours today. So I need to rest so I can actually be back on next Sunday and stay longer with you guys. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye.